Today in Breaking Bitcoin, it is Thanksgiving. We are going to give thanks for all the growth that we have been blessed to have as a community of traders. Today, the Bitcoin Brawl has kicked off. We will go over where we're at and we'll go over our intraday strategies and how we are approaching this particular competition. The Ethereum that was hacked from Upbit is on the move. We're going to dive over to Etherscan and peer into the scuttlebutt of what's going on. And we're going to talk about all the reasons to be thankful for being involved in this early stage of cryptocurrency in today's exciting episode. Stay tuned, everybody.
Hey, I'm Cap.
I'm Kickoff.
And we're with Particle.io, and this is Breaking Bitcoin.
Yes, this is a Breaking Bitcoin indeed. Welcome back to another fantastic live stream, guys. Hopefully you guys are doing fantastic today. This is your daily source for market updates, sentiment, and news for traders, crypto investors, enthusiasts, and just meme warriors. My name is Justin Wise, lead analyst and co-founder here at CrackingCryptocurrency.com. Hopefully you guys are doing absolutely fantastic wherever you happen to be tuning in from, and whether you are watching us today from YouTube, Twitch, DLive, Facebook Live, or on Roku with the Investor News Channel app. Lots of ways to help out, guys. If you want to support the show, make sure to subscribe, follow, share, and engage in the live chat in the comment section down below afterwards on this most glorious of days. We've got a fantastic show for you guys today. It's not going to be a full-length show. We do have Thanksgiving festivities going on here. I know not everybody watching is going to be from America. I know not everybody watching is going to be celebrating Thanksgiving, but we tend to go pretty hard over here at the Wise household, as we do with other things. So if I stay longer than an hour, I will probably be murdered by my family, and then we won't be able to continue pushing and growing, guys. So with that being said, we've got a lot to talk about today. Now, I know that a lot of you guys have sent me messages. Our email has been inundated with the requests lately, but yes, tomorrow we are going to be having a Black Friday sale for the premium trading group. The first 15 individuals to enter or to sign up for the group will get 50% off the package of their choice. Everybody else for the rest of the day will get 30% off. So those are the details. That's what you guys have been waiting for. It will kick off live tomorrow morning. You can do that on the website. And if you guys have any questions about that, you can, of course, contact anybody in Discord or shoot us an email at support@crackingcryptocurrency.com. Looking forward to that. I know I've talked to at least 30 people who have been sitting on the sidelines waiting for that. So eager to get that out there for you guys and eager to grow through the holiday season as we move forward. So now, other than that, website Discord integration carrying on full steam. We've got a whole lot to talk about today. Sign up process is going to be super seamless here very, very soon. The video from the interview video with Particle is still up if you guys haven't had a chance to see that, as well as the ByBit tutorial video. We're going to have the second of our interviews with the founder of Algorand, Silvio Macaulay. I had a chance to sit down with him for an hour. Other interview videos that are going to be coming up very, very soon, probably in the next week, is going to be Samson Mao from Blockstream, Naomi Brockwell. All of those are going to be coming to you guys live here on the channel. So really excited about that. I had a great time, obviously, down in San Francisco, and I'm really excited to kind of get the gears rolling on getting all that footage done. Of course, the ByBit Brawl is upon us. Registration's closed. There are 42 members in our team. 42, a magical number. The answer to life, the universe, and everything. With that being said, let's give thanks to today's crypto comment giveaway sponsor as Bitcoin makes another little rise up, currently trading at 76.32 over on the ByBits. And let's thank this month's crypto comment giveaway sponsor, Spectre Security Coin. Make sure to go check them out at spectresecurity.io for all your security needs. With that being said, let's give away some crypto and jump into the charts, guys. Let's go. All right, here we are in the Bitcoin scene, but we need to be over here in the comment scene, loading comments on yesterday's video, which was Upbit hack for 50 million Ethereum, China's fragile banking system, and threats to national security. Make sure to go check out yesterday's video if you did not have a chance, randomly picking a winner, and it was NinjaFistTV. Now, I read this comment earlier, didn't have a chance to comment on it, but we'll actually look at this question in the stream today. It's about Parallax and it flipping bullish on the 4th of July this year. So let's go take a look at that. NinjaFist, my friend, get a hold of me in the Discord. I will gladly tip you some crypto, and let's get into it. Okay. Mr. Ether, good to see you. ETH1, let's do a little roll call here. A lot of guys in the chat this morning. Tim Matthews is the toughest in crypto. Good, man. Good. It's good. It's good to be tough in crypto, man. You gotta have that staying power. Jurgen Ernst, happy Thanksgiving to you, my friend. Blockchain gains. He says gobble gobble. Farbod. Let's see here. Who do we got? Der Crypto Meister, Mustafa, Dicha, Spectre Security Coin. Good to see you, my friend. Ahmed Caprica, Mastache in the house. Let's see here. Cracking Crypto. I've seen that guy before a couple times. All right. With that being said, guys, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Hey, Alex, good to see you, my good friend. One of our best analysts. Hello, my good friend. How are you doing this morning? All right. So without further ado, let's get into today's price action and activity. Let me know if you guys have any questions in the chat. We got a lot to cover. We're going to go over things fairly quickly. Overall, let's start from our daily perspective. Have we entered into a strong bullish uptrend yet? No, we have not. That is exactly what will be indicated by our system. Those are exactly the trades that we like to enter into and hold for long positions of time. Whoa. And for all the bullish excitement and sentiment, again, I am not saying that price is not going to go up. Again, we had a up Monday. Generally, what we have noticed is that Monday's candle does tend to determine the direction of the trend for the week. Of course, there is intraday volatility that one can always play, and small meso and lower time frame trades. Obviously, it depends on what one's edge is in the market. But overall, we are not in a bullish uptrend, guys. We're not. It will take time. It will take volume to establish that. And the thing is, those are rare occurrences. Overall, full-fledged, strongly trending buy and hold Bitcoin for an extended period of time swing trades. There have been several this year. But the thing is, those do not come around every single month. Those do not come around every single week. And when those flips in trend occur, they dramatically change the way that we are going to trade as traders. Meaning, if we were previously, there are three major cycles that a market can go through, and that's bullish appreciation, that's bearish depreciation, and then consolidation. Now, whether that consolidation is in the form of accumulation or whether that consolidation is in the form of distribution, there are two main strategies for trend followers. And for trend followers, we trade strong uptrends, meaning we are always looking to re-enter, buying dips, taking price to the upside, any and all opportunity that we can, because the strength lies with the buyers. Conversely, when price is in a strong downtrend, we are not looking to long. There is no intraday volatility that would be attractive for a long. We are only looking for shorts, short every single correction, short everything that pops to the upside. There is no such thing as a bullish candle. Everything is just an opportunity to re-enter into a short. When the market is in consolidation, we are in reversion to the mean mode, where we are shorting every top and longing every dip, as long as price stays within a range. The nice thing about that strategy is that you're only wrong once, and as long as you are position sizing appropriately, as long as you are trading for the long term, and reduce your risk exposure, and again, keep your eyes on capital preservation and growth, and not necessarily growth per se. We're only focusing on growth. The best traders in the world that I know of don't focus on making money. They focus on not losing money because they have already, and it doesn't matter how much capital you have. It doesn't matter if you have a lot of capital. It doesn't matter if you have a small account. If you focus on breaking even and preserving capital, that is when, once you cross that psychological barrier of not wanting to chase gains and be rich, that is when actual profits start to roll in on a consistent basis. Because again, most traders are losing money actively in the market. And so if you are able to break even as a trader, you are outperforming, unfortunately, you are outperforming about 80 to 90% of the market already. And then once you cross that psychological barrier to break even and be okay with that, that is when you can cut out losing trades, stop doing the things you're not supposed to do, and focus on the things that you should be doing, i.e. taking good winning trades. With that being said, okay. Okay, so we are not in a strong uptrend yet. That has not been established. Overall price has been stronger to the upside over the last few days, meaning bullish trades have had a little bit higher appreciation, but I've not been in a BTC long. Now, once we were springing off the bottom there several days ago, I did take an XRP USD long. For a full risk position size. So this entire bullish uptick, this entire bullish upswing, I have been profiting off of this via XRP USD. Now, of course, that doesn't directly translate to the ByBit Brawl or to the Bitcoin competition. In fact, the money that I've made off of Bitcoin over the last few days has been scalping to the downside and playing that intraday volatility. But again, with that being said, my scalps would have returned more profit as far as my Bitcoin trades would have gone if I would have been trading to the upside, as we have seen. Of course, there was some nice volatility yesterday to take price to the downside. However, let's start off with that. On the daily, we've established that there is no strong uptrend. I do want to introduce this. I will be publishing this as a free indicator. This is not a complicated indicator. This is a little bit of code with commodity channel index, and it is designed to be a more sensitive commodity channel index to get you into trades a little earlier than CCI would have you wait for, and to get you out. Now, I'm still considering this a centered oscillator type of indicator, even though it is technically a line cross indicator, but there are two types, in my opinion, of centered oscillators. There are static centered oscillators, where you have a static level where your line needs to cross up or down. That's typically I refer to it as the zero line, because often it is at zero. But of course, different oscillators are going to have different settings. You might determine that it's actually -2 or -10 or +10 or +20, whatever your back testing results with your indicators are going to reveal. But there's also dynamic centered oscillators, and I find that's far better than calling them line cross indicators, because line cross indicators don't typically look like this, where you have basically a zero line that is stat and flat, that is mostly flat and static, but it varies with price. A line cross indicator is more appropriately something like MINX, where you have a fast line and a slow line. The slow line tracks the fast line, and when these two lines cross, that is an objective signal to trade in a particular direction. Remember that our initiator and our confirmer give us directional bias, whereas the other components of our strategy tell us when it's okay to trade, give us the allowance to trade. So as we can see here with this version of Commodity Channel Index, again, Commodity Channel Index, one of my favorite traditional stock indicators, and with a little bit of tweaking, as I've done here, which is adding a longer linear regression dynamic centered center level, zero line, I find that it's actually more responsive and backtest better. So this isn't a super state secret. I'll be publishing this as a public indicator. Of course, I published Parallax this week, and it's in beta testing right now. I'm getting feedback so far. Haven't found any glitches in the code or anything wrong. It's actually a quite simple indicator. It's just the concept was a little out there, as my mind tends to work with. But it works quite well, just as it's intended to do. So let's go answer NinjaFist's question. And he was referencing on the 4th of July, Parallax went above zero, but did not turn bullish. And he asks, is this a glitch in the code? Okay, so I see what you're saying here. So it seems like Parallax did close above and then immediately closed back below. So my question would be, so the only thing that makes sense to me from backtesting this, and so first off, the first concern that would come to my mind is, does it repaint? Now, you can test this on the 1 minute chart. You can test Parallax on the 1 minute chart, and you can quickly determine if it repaints. So Parallax doesn't repaint. The only way that all indicators repaint intra-bar, but you can specifically look at the code. One very common way that people can fabricate indicators or fabricate fantastic results is that they can actually use in the code future price data. So I've developed, and that's not what this does. This simply looks at static values and calculates them. So the only thing that I can think of is that this is an anomaly of how TradingView printed this, because if we actually look, MINX, Parallax doesn't do what MINX does. So Parallax does not generally flip on the opposite candle. As we've gone over a lot of times, MINX tends to give cross unders and crossovers of the MINX and noise line, or the signal and trigger line in common line cross language on up candles and down candles. So what I mean by that is, often we'll find that on a down candle, on a red candle, MINX will cross up because it's looking at relative velocity. It's looking at relative momentum. So it's looking at the strength of movement on the way down, running it through an algorithm, and then telling you if it's time to flip. Conversely, it tends to cross down on an up candle. And that has the nice benefit is if If one is using Minx as a reversal indicator, which I don't recommend, just as an exit indicator in that case, it often has the capacity to get you out near or close to market tops or bottoms. Parallax doesn't do that. Parallax is a straight trend following indicator. So the only thing that makes sense to me, and I'll email TradingView support, but it's unlikely that they'll tell me anything besides what I already think is the case. I think with this, it's not a glitch in the code because there's no other circumstance in which we have this non-color flipping issue. I think it's the fact that we don't actually close above the zero line. It's the fact that we close close enough to or afterwards. Let's actually go see what the value was on the close. $4.58. Okay, I know why. I know why. Because the threshold isn't set to 0 in the code, which is good. The threshold is tweaked to Bitcoin. So this particular indicator is tweaked to Bitcoin. But what's nice about Parallax is that unlike a lot of Bitcoin indicators, it works well. So I'm going to go retake a look at the code and give you a better, more informed answer because I don't want to pull up the code right this second. But the only thing that makes sense is that the threshold is not actually 0. So that means on my plot, and thank you for pointing that out, that means what I need to do is I need to move that line up because Parallax doesn't color flip when that line crosses 0. Actually, Parallax is 2 lines, and if Johnny's watching, he knows exactly what I'm talking about. Parallax is 2 lines, and when those 2 lines essentially cross one another or attain relative or greater momentum, that's when it color flips. And that often happens right around the 0 line when one becomes positive and one becomes negative. So I will take a look at changing that threshold so that it's not at the 0 line, so that it's at the actual threshold, so that is not, that's not confusing anymore. Thanks for pointing that out. That's a good, not glitch, but that's a good thing. I just added that 0 line arbitrarily because that's when the color flip happens right around that threshold. So I'll go actually figure out what the threshold number is and tweak that. Thank you. And this is why we beta test. All right, Lefty, good to see you guys. Smart Grass Pest and Lawn Smart Grass. I like that name. Happy Turkey Day to you, my friend. Okay, so no daily uptrend, or excuse me, no daily flip of trend, even though the market is tending to the upside. So as far as I'm concerned, we're still in overall reversion to the mean territory. We're still in overall reversion to the mean strategy. And that's how I'm approaching the market. That's how I'm trading the market right now. Now let's go down to the, with that being said, we do have the Minx crossover. So on, let's see here. So this day right here. So 2 days ago, on the close of the candle 2 days ago, I did signal to all the members in my group as well as myself to be out of full risk short positions. So anybody that held full risk positions open through any portion of this market sector and any good trending system should have got you in anywhere around here to take a trade to the downside, allowing you to capitalize on this latest dump to the this latest movement to the downside. You should have been exiting those positions on this candle close as Minx was giving you the exit signal. We talked about this yesterday, and then Wada Atar. If you're using Wada Atar as an exit indicator, Wada Atar gave you an exit signal for the shorts on the next candle, and Commodity Channel Index is going to be giving you an exit signal for that on today's candle, because as we can see with CCI, we are actually crossing that dynamic threshold and printing CCI above. Now that's a CCI buy signal when CCI goes above 0, assuming that you're confirmer if you're using CCI as an initiator. But that is CCI's buy signal. CCI is centered oscillator. When it goes above, you buy. When it goes below, you sell. It's that simple. The only thing that is holding me back from this is Wada Atar explosion. Wada Atar explosion is designed to keep me from taking trades that do not have a high probability of having a lot of legs behind them. Not only on top of that, if we look at the market through market dynamics or market structure, is this still, in my opinion, a reactionary movement off the bottom. So nothing to call home to mom about. 4 nice candles to the upside are good after a big movement to the downside, but that does not reverse the overall trend. We haven't formed any higher lows. We haven't formed any higher highs. Market structure hasn't shifted. We haven't seen a significant shift. This is an area where speculators are going to be attempting to predict market tops and bottoms, which is something, as we've gone over many, many times, we don't do on this channel. We don't pick market tops and bottoms. We ride trends. And if we do need to trade in periods of consolidation, we trade reversion to the mean strategy, meaning that's what we'll be doing until we have a nice strong uptrend established. Now, if we do get another bullish candle, then that will be potentially establishing an uptrend for us. And either at that point, we need to make the determination of, are we going to just enter into this uptrend because we believe it has enough legs, if that's what the indicators are saying, or are we in a place relative to the baseline or relative to some level of supply overhead that we want to wait for a retrace and get a better average entry. So we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Overall, daily candle structure is squat. We have a squat spinning top doji. We've wicked to the upside. We've wicked to the downside. And that really just the candle structure as well also superimposes my intraday strategy. So yesterday I took a profitable scalp to the downside. Here we'll pull open this 15-minute perspective. Good to see the team is watching. Keep me on the up and up, gentlemen. It was a pleasure to stay up all night with you guys and work. Okay, so yesterday we had established a short. I ended up averaging into that short as the market moved up because my dynamic is still to take trades to the downside. So I ended up getting an average entry on that short of about 75.50, took profit at 74.50 for half of my position, and then that ended up stopping out at break even. So that was a profitable trade one. Entered into a trade today, attempting to this morning, as we were, so we have a group chat set up. By the way, if you guys are watching, if you guys are in the ByBit Brawl with us, if you guys are registered for the team, then get a hold of me, send an email to support@crackingcryptocurrency.com, and I will add you to our private ByBit Brawl channel where we are all discussing our trade setups, where we're all discussing our strategies, where we're all sharing our orders, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So today, this morning, I had placed another short entry, ended up closing that trade out just a smidgen above break even, very, not even, like it was like a $10 loss, right above break even, because I knew I was going to be doing the stream and I wouldn't have the ability to actively manage that trade while on the stream due to the way that I have my trading set up. I trade on a specific trading computer. I actually have to walk across the room to input trades. I can't do it from my main computer. And I like that because that forces discipline upon me. That means I need to physically get up and walk across the room and sit in an uncomfortable chair. It's an uncomfortable chair, by the way, that I've set over there. All of this is on purpose because that way I have to be it forces me to be disciplined in my entries, and it stops me from doing, oh, I'm bored. That's a red candle, I'm going to go short. Oh, I'm bored, that's a green candle, I'm going to go long, because that is often the biggest thing. Remember, when we're scalping a range, we need to be very strategic. And I talked about this this morning with the members. I talked about there are two ways, in my opinion, to trade a range profitably for entering in. You can either do as I did yesterday and have a directional bias, want to take a trade in one direction, which yesterday for me was short. And what I did yesterday was, as price moved up, I slowly scaled into a short position. That allowed me to have more control, that allowed me to manage my risk better, because it allowed me to just kind of monitor market structure, monitor price action. As price went up, I was able to scale into the short and then end up with an entry, with an average entry and a position size that I was happy with. And if you do that disciplined in a strategic fashion, I think that does give you good control over your position sizing and your overall average entry, rather than just going all in at any one particular price and then having to sit in and draw down. Now, of course, with strategy one, if you are scaling into a short, for example, as the market is moving up, that means by definition, you are going to be sitting in drawdown until the market turns in your favor. As I was sitting in drawdown, as I was continuing to scale in yesterday, and then throughout the market volatility until price actually dipped down from 75.50 to 74.50, and I got my fill on my take profit. Now, the other strategy, of course, is, and this is generally where people go, and I think this is fine, and this is what I'm doing right now, which is playing the edges, placing your limit orders in areas of maximum pain for particular traders. So placing your limit sell orders in areas where traders are likely to be liquidated on shorts. Placing your limit buy orders in places where longs are likely to get liquidated on their orders. So that means obviously above previous highs, above previous highs for limit sell orders, below previous lows for limit buy orders, and then looking to take your profit in very similar ranges. And that's actually the setup that I have on BTC today. You guys can see there are two lines on the chart. I do have limit sell orders established directly above this range around the 77.15 area, looking to take price down to 73.50. I also have limit buy orders at 73.50, looking to do the exact opposite. Overall, I think that, again, probably the better intraday movements here is to the upside. We haven't seen the waning exhaustion of the bulls. But again, I'm also quite hesitant to continue to take trade or to begin taking trades to the upside when I feel this is a reactionary movement off the bottom and we haven't established a clear uptrend. When that happens, then I will only be looking for longs. But as we are in reversion to the mean mode right now, I need to be looking for counter trade shorts because there's no strong established uptrend. So therefore, it's not. You don't trade against the dominant trend, but if there's no dominant trend, you need to trade the edges or trade the ranges or trade reversion to the mean strategy, which is the same thing, but just in a better form. Do I recommend shorting 7,600 again? I don't think there's anything wrong with that. At this point in time, I've moved my, that was my original trade. I had shorted 7,600. Actually, no, that's not true. I actually had plans. I had my limit orders set. I got an average entry of, I believe it was 75.80. I'll have to go back and look. 75.80. And then I had planned to get filled at 76.30, which is basically where we are right now, and take price down to 73.50. I ended up on this dip right here, I ended up closing out my position right above break even. Again, I believe my average entry was 75.80 and the low of this candle was 75.80. It ended up closing at 75.86. I believe that's roughly where I closed my position at. And again, knew I was going to be doing the stream for about an hour. Didn't want to be actively sitting here and trading that. And I set my sights higher. So currently I'm going to attempt to short from 77.15 with my stop loss in the 78.45 area. So it's about, that's 2 hour ATR range, 2 hour average volatility is about $130 on BTC USD right now. So that's how my trade's going to be structured, looking to take price to the downside. If that doesn't work, then I'll just have to reshort from a higher level because again, until and unless we enter into a strong established uptrend, my stop getting hit in the 78.45 area is not going to want to make me flip and trade long because then we're going to be, in my opinion, definitely overextended at that point in time. And at that point in time, though, I'll probably just, again, this is a 2-week competition and trading Bitcoin for me is a lifetime job. So at that point in time, there are times when you just have to accept and be okay with the fact that I was not able to profitably trade this area of the market. My strategy did not work. And instead of feeling that I need to change now and trade in the opposite direction and now chase price in the direction that I should have been trading, often the best thing for you to do is just accept the loss and walk away from that area of the market and wait until things come back down into your favor and until you see another strategic profitable setup. That is one of the biggest mistakes that I see people make. Like, for example, if I end up being wrong about how to trade this area of the market, the correct mindset is that that's okay. I was wrong about my strategy in this particular area of the market. I will wait until the market conditions change, until I see another profitable setup. What I will not do is revenge trade and start going long just because my short got stopped out at $130. That is the wrong mindset. That is not the winning mindset. The winning mindset is being okay with accepting that your strategy was unsuccessful in a particular area of the market, because the best strategy is not going to work in every area of the market. As a professional trader, or even as an amateur trader, as any trader with any level of skill, you have to be okay with saying that it's okay that you fouled up on an area of the market. And it's not even that you fouled up. You attempted to apply your strategy. Your strategy just did not work in that area of the market. And that's why you position size appropriately, you manage your risk appropriately so that you can live to fight another day and be right another day. Because as long as you are executing a statistically profitable strategy, inevitably you will have that time come where the market will turn in your favor. You will have your wins. And as long as you can keep your losses small, so you're invariably going to trade incorrectly in an area of the market, or your strategy is not going to be effective in certain areas of the market. When that happens, the reason you have to position size appropriately, and the reason that you cannot counter trade or revenge trade your previous self, is because you need to limit those losses and keep them small, because that is invariably going to happen. And if you can just keep those losses small, you will live to fight another day. And when the market turns in your favor and your strategy works now, that is when you bank. That's when you grow your equity. You have to keep your drawdown small, and you have to put yourself in a position to profit from trending movements in the market. Is how I've done this, is how I teach people to do things. You know, the idea that since I've been doing this for a number of years, that I'm always going to nail every area of the market is ridiculous, guys. There are plenty of areas in the market where I just am unable to trade it successfully. It naturally happens, right? Now, I have the benefit because I apply my strategy over and over and over again consistently, and I know that it works because I've tested it, back tested it, live traded it for years. I know that it works, and so I'm comfortable with saying that I just was not able to nail down this area of the market. And when we shift from what we normally do, what my base strategy is, which is trend following trading, down into monitoring price action and looking for price action setups, same thing. We have to be okay with a lower hit rate as well. Now, the nice thing generally when you trade price action, for example, these setups are going to have a higher or a better risk to reward ratio than my typical trades do. So I am looking for outsized upside on these trades and limited downside, right? So the actual amount of capital that I stand to lose on a losing trade is quite small, and all I need to do is hit a couple winning trades with this price action strategy to actually end in net profit. Something dark side. Now, GBU Wally, I believe, was throwing some bans around, and as a jerk, I just completely ignored or missed him. I see it over here. I can't see it on the screen. Let me actually like slide it over here so I can see a little bit clearer. Wally, thank you so much, my friend. He says, this is a bribe. I want to pay you to say 2 sentences related to what you just said, but replace Wada Atar with Wado Akbar and work in Death Star somehow. Okay, so I'm not exactly sure what sentences that you are referencing, but what I will say is, if we look very, very closely at what Wado Akbar here is doing, Waka Waka, then what we will notice is that I'm a toy daddy and mind tricks don't work on me. Are you waving your hands around like you're some kind of Jedi, thinking that you can catch every top and nail every bottom? Come on, that's crazy. Get back in there and clean the shop. Totika Dawana. I don't know. My Wada is probably kind of terrible, but I try. And also, guys, I just want to point this out right here. In the rare chance that the stock to flow model is correct, right? That's no moon. That's a space station. I love you guys. Thank you so much for the generous contribution, my friend. Shout out to you and Gunbot University. Hopefully you guys are crushing it over there. And you know what's really, really nice is, Wally, you've already told me that you tip me out of your trading profits. So I can only, so that lets me know that I'm doing something right. You know, that the members are learning, that the members are growing, that the members are not getting burned, and doing good. Thank you guys so much. I bet Scott would do a better Watto, man. Scott's really good at impersonations. How much did I make? How much did, so I think Ahmed's question here is, how much did it take to make money in trading and be my full-time job? So it really depends on what route you're going to want to go. Okay. It depends on what route you're going to want to go. I think that for anybody out there right now, they can focus on becoming a consistently profitable trader and get funded. I think that's going to be the easiest route for a lot of people. There's a lot of individuals out there who will give you money to trade for them, and that is something that you can absolutely do in Forex and cryptocurrency with no license. And I think that for somebody who honestly and ethically wants to make an honest go of this, there are good places. And, there are people like myself people who approach me who can show their track record of profitability. I do my best to put them in the right place at the right time. But those options are out there. All it takes is a little bit of research. For those of you who are interested in trading other markets, for example, there are easier entrances, for example, like Forex and Forex. There are pretty easy entrances. If you do well with Forex, of course, you can generally get sponsored by your company to go get your Series 7 license and trade commodities or equities as well. I think that's going to be the easiest route. And then you'd use your profits to trade cryptocurrency. So I think it's very, very easy for traders nowadays who approach the markets consistently to lock in 10 to 20% per year on Forex, equity, and commodity markets. In cryptocurrency, I've never had a year trading cryptocurrency where I've done less than 100%. And that's fairly consistent with just about everybody else that I know that trades cryptocurrency professionally as well. And so, to be quite honest with you, I think that you're going to want an account size of $50,000 to $100,000 if you're going to be living off of that. Again, very similar concept though. I think that if your risk management is on point and you are being a little bit more active as a trader and you're limiting your downside, somebody with $5,000 to $10,000 can get that outsized exposure in a relatively short amount of years. As we kind of progress, I'm going to be making videos and walk through the exact math on how much money I think an individual needs to start trading. Again, getting funded is always good. But I think that for most people watching who don't have $50,000 to $100,000 sitting around, I think it's a matter of priority. If you don't have that money at all, then if you focus on becoming a consistently profitable trader, you can get funded with that amount of money. All right. If you have, and the way that we trade, the way that I trade anyways, and the way that I teach people to trade, like they don't need to spend a lot of time and energy trading. It takes some time and energy learning to do it. But then actively trading, like I don't trade that long. I generally actively trade for about 30 minutes a day. Now, that's cryptocurrency. Now, I trade other markets as well, so that takes a little bit more time out of my day as well. So overall, at my level, I will end up trading for about an hour to 2 hours a day. It depends on the day, depends on the market. But for cryptocurrency, it's very, very simple, at least the way that we trade. And I think that that's what's been most refreshing to members of the group and people who are learning to trade how we trade. But if for most people watching, I think, who are doing this on the side, we have to also remember the other thing. So there are this kind of falls into two categories. If you want to be a full-time professional trader and only trade, you can either get funded or you can work a job that you most likely don't like and save your money up for a year or two while you're learning to trade. And then you take that lily pad plunge. That's what I did, right? I worked as an HVAC supervisor to fund myself with capital so that I could do this on my own. It took me about 2 years, actually about closer to 3 years, to save up enough capital. And then I made the plunge to trading full time. And that was a forward-thinking life choice that I made because I knew what lifestyle I wanted to live. And then I've never looked back. Now, I could have gone the other route and got funded. I just chose not to. As far as that goes. The other thing is that a lot of individuals will enjoy their job, will want to continue working and have that active source of income and just trade passively on the side. And I think that's a great way for one to actively manage their portfolio. I think that, and me and Alex talked about this last night, with the economy the way that it is, with traditional markets the way that they are, we have gotten American investors and investors around the world, I believe, have gotten very, very, very spoiled with passive investment, index fund investing, right? Recently, there's news coming out about an index fund bubble, which I think is overheated, but again, still the concept is there. And this idea is kind of being paraded around that actively managed funds have been unable to beat the S&P 500 or index funds, passive investment, over the last 10 years, Warren Buffett's infamous bet. But here's the thing. If we are going to have a significant downturn in the market, your passive index fund investing is not going to do very well, And actively managed funds, and you as an individual who is actively managing their portfolio, whether it's your retirement account or your savings on the side, through the use of cryptocurrency, Forex, commodities, equities, and you don't have to, even as Americans, you can get involved with, for example, like the short S&P ETF, right? So that negatively tracks to a 1x ratio the S&P 500. So if you're looking to add something to your portfolio and you're concerned about the market, I'm not telling you to sell all your index funds. I have a fairly large dividend portfolio myself. That's one of my main sources of passive income. But you can start buying into the ETF of the S&P 500 negative and basically start hedging your account balance against the index funds, against the bullishness in the market. That's, a thing that I don't hear a lot of people talk about. So we're going to be entering into an era, I think, for, once the economy tips, where actively managed funds, people are going to be clamoring for them. And if you get in on that early, you're not going to have to sit there and watch a lot of your wealth disappear overnight when the market crashes, right? It doesn't matter where your money is. Doesn't matter, throwing your money all in gold is not a good idea. Throwing all of your money into Bitcoin is not a good idea. Throwing all of your money into index funds is not a good idea. Being diversified and being in control of your own portfolio to manage, to weather the storm and come out ahead where others scream, even if you just preserve your capital. Like say you take somebody like myself, who has a significant amount of money in the market at any given time. If there's a big market drop and a lot of people just lose 30, 40, 50% of their account pretty much overnight, and I don't lose anything, even if I don't profit, I'm still up 50% on the rest of the market. And now I can use my buying power at these depressed prices to grab killer deals, right? To buy up some real estate, to buy up some ETFs, to buy up some index funds, to buy up some cheap Bitcoin, to buy up some cheap gold, whatever happens to crash, right? And I think that's that mindset of actively controlling your retirement, of controlling your investments, of controlling your life, of controlling your money is the big breakthrough mentality, is the big aha moment, and was for me. How do I manage my time? Google Calendar. My whole day planned out in 30-minute blocks. Blockchain says, after getting burnt, how long should I wait to get back into the market with confidence? I mean, 30 days is generally pretty good. Cryptocurrency moves pretty fast, but at the same time, if your mindset isn't right, then you're not going to be performing well in the market. Like for me, this hasn't happened for a while, but if I happen to have like a series of losses or a string of losses, I'll unplug for a day or so. Just spend time with my family, do some meditation, go have something nice to eat, maybe go on an amusement park ride. I really like doing that. Just anything to kind of unplug and just reset my mindset. And again, but the nice thing is this, man, having a community really helps. And I really encourage everybody in the Discord, in the chat, members or not members, to just be open and honest with where you are in life and in your trading. Because often what we need to hear as traders, whether we're learning or experienced, is not, yeah, man, buy here, sell here. That comes with time. That comes with developing your own strategy. That comes with patience. All of those things become fairly obvious once you just get seasoned in the market and you learn how you want to trade. Often what we need to hear is that we're okay people, right? That we're not stupid because we had a losing streak, or that we don't suck, or that our worth is not, that our self-worth is not impugned because we are not, because our results are not looking like these LARPers on Twitter who are just posting these ridiculous 100x. What's always funny to me is like, this is, I'm not trying to troll on like other group leaders or anything like that, because listen, there's some good traders out there in the space. I want to give them credit where credit's due, but like, I swear to God, I see so much stuff on Twitter, and I generally like unfollow these people, where people like send screenshots of like their BitMEX or ByBit account or like their trade history, and then they've like scribbled out the margin and like the account, and they're just showing like, it just shows like 50% profit, and it's like, get the hell out of here, man. Like, why did you scribble out, man? Why did you scribble that out? Because you're not being open and honest, right? You're not being open and honest. So just being open and honest with, when you're crushing it, being open and honest because everybody wants to be open and honest when they're crushing it, but being open and honest when you're not crushing it, I think is more important. And having that good community, that good solid community of guys or gals that you trust, that you can work with, that you can communicate with, that mentor you, that you mentor, it's a very reciprocal relationship. That's why I'm very, very, very blessed to have what we have at Kraken Cryptocurrency. And, one of the main reasons why people come to us and join us from these other like Telegram signal groups that are like When Moon Sir nonsense. We care about the community. We care about growing as a whole, not impressing anybody on Twitter. That's nonsense. So you like to trade all day and ride roller coasters. I see a behavioral pattern here. Do I use trading bots? So no, I don't. I have nothing against trading bots. I'm actually working on developing trading bots right now in conjunction with our developers, but I just want to be upfront and honest that trading bots have never been the secret to my success. I know, and that's because I'm not naturally programmatically inclined, right? So it's just not the way. I've always been a manual trader. I think one of the biggest headaches for the developers that work with me is I'm always like, well, look at all this testing I've done on pencil and paper, and I just push like literally pounds of notes at them because that's what my trading desk looks like, just pounds of like, my trading desk is pretty organized. But I just have folders upon folders and folders of like notes of my manual back testing of indicators because I'm a dinosaur and that's what's worked for me. So the secret to my success, if you take away anything, is that I just put in the work, man. I just put in the work with pencil and paper, sitting down for hours at a time, studying indicators, putting together systems, putting together strategies, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't, trying different things, trading different styles, going through the pain and heartache of like, oh, I suck. This doesn't work. What am I doing? Oh my God, I suck as a trader. I hate trading. Oh my God, there's a red candle I should short. I've been through all that, man. And that's why, I just tell people that it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Like there's all different phases to this. And that's why I just try to instill on people, like, approach the market strategically. Just work on developing a system. Like, don't worry about catching a lot of trades. Just worry on breaking even. And then you can diversify as time goes by. But I have nothing against trading bots. Honestly, I've seen them not work well for people. I think a lot of people view trading bots as like magical get rich quick bots, especially like ones that are sold to them. Like, cause there's a lot of people that go around like selling trading bots. And I have seen people lose obscene amounts of money trusting their money with bots. But then again, I have some friends that have developed their own bots and they're doing quite well for them. So it's a mixed bag, man. It's a mixed bag. I think that if you're going to make your own bot, yes, cool. Go ahead, man. You probably already have the gusto and the gravitas to do that. If you're going to buy a bot, I would recommend you not do that. Awesome, Jack. Good to see you, man. Oh man, every time I talk about bots, I know I'm gonna trigger Wally, man. Like, it's like beep beep boop. Sounds like we should do a bot special episode at some point. What they're good for and what they're not. Learn and don't go bird. And that's something that's Wally, something that you've told me as well as a kind of specialist in botting is, in a bull market, a bot's going to do everything you want it to. In a bear market, a bot's going to do like everything you don't want it to, right? And you got to know like when to turn it on, when to turn it off, and what bots can and cannot do that you need to do yourself. So, I think that there are very few. I think that it's very hard to just program any bot that you can just like turn. And again, I know like Wally's going to come out and be like, bro, I've got like 19,000 different bots right now, dude, and they will blow your mind. And I he does. Like, Wally is absolutely crushing it, but Wally is a super genius. And again, I think that, for those who are inclined, I think that Gunbot University is probably where people want to go check out, because that's where he teaches people to do that as well. But I think that a lot of, so let me couch that. Trading assistant bots, I think, are good, right? Because that's what I think that's what the best like options in the market are. So things like Gunbot, some of the stuff that 3 Commas does, some of these other things, they are design, like they can automatically trade completely for you to a degree. But you want to use, in my opinion, I would utilize them more to help me maximize profit or reduce loss on trades, right? Especially because I have to sleep sometimes. So having that trading assistant structure there, that bot essentially, to help me get the most out of my trading when, to do the legwork after I've done the analysis work. I guess what I was really talking about was, I'm not cautioning people against using things like Gunbot or 3 commas. Not at all. I think that those are great tools. Well, I think what I'm trying to caution people against is these copy trading bots or these like API, like just give us your API, bro. Just plug your API into here. And like our master trading system will just manage everything for you, up, down, left, right, and sideways. You never even have to look at the market. I've almost never seen those work out for people. And I think that's the good contrast between like what Gunbot offers, which is genuine assistance and a helpful tool for traders, and Telegram. So there's a huge variance. Because what I think that things like 3 commas and Gunbot and what you were doing, Wally, is really, really important to people and really helpful. I mean, I know people who utilize Gunbot and utilize 3 commas and have seen their trading improve. Aditya Makaria says he made an extremely simple strategy, but its backtest is making a ton of money in traditional Indian stock market. I don't know if I am stupid or simplicity is the way to go. So simple strategies tend to work well. You're going to want to, there's a lot of like, if it's your first backtest, like there's a lot of like logical errors that can crop up in somebody's backtest. It just kind of depends on, what your experience level is in programming. We're going to be making we already have one, but I'm going to make a general one, a pine coding section of the Discord. So I invite you to join the Discord and get involved in that community, because I really want to help people grow with that. And I think that just keeping it cloistered is not the way to go with that, because there's a lot of individuals that aren't in the group that just want to help share and contribute and talk, because we are very contrasted with what we do from the MetaTrader crowd, because we're not MetaTrader hip, bro. But with that being said, I think that if we can rule out most common logical inconsistencies, your next step obviously is just paper trading it. See how it trades in live circumstances, because paper trading or live trading with small capital, that's what reveals the inefficiencies, the inconsistencies of what we did on the backtest. I ask how you manage your time because I have the lake of time problem in managing it for like studying the trading stuff, watching the show, and even checking the charts to take the signals in my trades. Like just so like a brief rundown of my time. I generally get up anywhere between 5 and 6:30 in the morning. The first thing I do is nothing. I just sit down for about 15 minutes, think about my day, write out on a sticky pad what I want to accomplish that day, do some breathing exercises, just tell myself that I'm going to crush it no matter what. I do it in front of this placard. It's not ego, it's just helpful. And just put myself in a good mindset and actively put myself in a position to be mindful throughout the day, because I'm very, very, very into mindfulness. I've definitely noticed a big change in my life if I'm just mindful of what's going on. It helps me respond to situations with people better. It helps me respond to situations in the market better, and just puts me in that like lack of like need, right? If you start off the day kind of empty and not needing anything, it's I know that kind of sounds juxtaposed. I don't know how to describe it. Like, just expel yourself of need to impress anybody, need to achieve any unattainable goals, and just focus on what needs to be done to get from where you are to where your higher self wants you to be. That voice in your head when you lay down at night that tells you like, oh, I'm going to get up earlier tomorrow. I'm going to exercise in the morning. I'm going to eat better tomorrow. I really fouled it up today. I'm going to like be nicer to my kids tomorrow. I'm going to call my mom tomorrow. I'm going to do this tomorrow. I'm going to be awesome at work tomorrow. Like that's, that voice, that's you. That's the real you, right? That's the mindful you, because you're laying down for bed. Certain, like the hustle and bustle of the day is leaving you. The animal instincts that generally take control of us are leaving you, and you're left in a more mindful state, right? And then people screw it up because they wake up and the first thing they do is they run to their phone, they're running to work, they're doing this, and they never take that time to reset and maintain that mindfulness area. I don't want that to sound too hippy dippy, but it's real psychological fact. So just taking time to establish that mindfulness is really, really helpful for a trader. And I think as a person, being true to your real self, because that other you that wakes up and just does stuff on autopilot, that's not the real you. That's the animal you. Are there any trading podcasts that I suggest? I mean, not really, man. I don't listen to a lot of trading podcasts because a lot of traders don't trade the way that I trade. And I don't find a lot of like trading podcasts helpful. I do like, hold on a second. Chat with Traders, with Aaron Fifield, I think his name is. That's a pretty good one. Let me look at my Podbean here. Better System Trader is a pretty good podcast by Andrew Swanscott. Tides of History and Hardcore History. I listen to like Philosophize This with Stephen West. I listen to Let's Talk Bitcoin. I listen, anytime Trace Mayer puts out a Bitcoin TK. I used to love Bitcoin and Markets with Ansel Linder, but he hasn't done them in a long time. Chat with Traders, Aaron Fifield. And of course, who could forget Bitcoin Crypto Mastermind by Ty Lopez? That's absolute necessity. No. Yeah, Philosophize This is probably my favorite podcast. Jap says, new to this, can you help on the best and safest wallet to use? I recommend the Ledger Nano X. That's the cold storage wallet that I use. If you're going to be using a hot wallet, then I generally use Electrum for like quick transfers. And it's fairly safe desktop wallet if you're going to be holding for like a week or two. I've never had any problems with Electrum. But you need to make sure that you got the right, just backend security. And there's lots of good websites online. Just Google, Bitcoin wallet security and just follow best practices, VPNs, things of that nature. Making sure you're downloading wallet software directly from their GitHub repo and not from some sketchy link somewhere. Ben. Thank you, Ben. Ooh, Talk to Traders. I'll check that one out. Yeah, Alex turned me on to Better Systems Trader. It's a good one. All right, it is 1 o'clock, man. We got to be like shuffling off here pretty soon. I'll stay. My two older kids are on their way home right now, so when they get here, I'm gonna need to vacate the premises. But we can hang out a little bit longer, guys. Let me actually see. There was a few things we wanted to talk about today. Okay, so we do have one news story that we'll go over real quick, and that is the hacked Upbit Ethereum is on the move today. So let's cue over for today's cryptocurrency segment. All right, and for today's cryptocurrency segment, we are going to be covering the Upbit Ethereum being on the move today. So obviously, we talked about this the other day. Let's actually. Shoot. There we go. All right, so here's the Upbit hack, and let's go see the latest transactions. Yeah, okay. So he is kind of splitting his funds around quite a bit. Yep, 10 ether, 100, 1,000 ether, 10,000, 100,000, being pretty bold with it. So in the story, the 51.7 actually $1 million haul from this week's Upbit heist clearly seems to be on the move. According to data from the Chainalysis website etherscan.io, which you guys just showed you, the stolen Ethereum is now being split up and being moved to various addresses. Now, the transactions seem to have been generally divided into lots ranging from about 10 Ethereum to 100,000 Ethereum. Now, at this time, as we speak right now, the hacker's original Ethereum wallet has been nearly completely emptied, and the 342,000 Ethereum is now being split up across multiple addresses. Now, according to one analyst who is following the funds, he believes the hacker is now looking for a platform on which to now launder the funds, including testing the waters by sending small amounts to the ByBit Exchange. Now, with the hacker aware that all eyes are on the stolen funds due to the blockchain, and many exchanges likely to freeze assets related to the theft, the challenge for him becomes finding an exchange, OTC desk, or other friendly third party to help sell or launder all of this Ethereum. Now, the thief also appears to be mocking any observers closely monitoring his activity with a series of unconfirmed transactions, leaving a subtle message behind. And each one is for a very small amount of Ethereum, 0.0001337, 1337 obviously being elite speak for elite, which is often used in reference to being a elite hacksaw or elite hacker. Now, it's likely that these transactions will go on unconfirmed, as it seems that the hacker is intentionally setting their Ethereum transaction fees too low to be accepted by the network. So they will remain unconfirmed merely to mock those who are hot on his trail. Now, yesterday, Upbit confirmed that the 342 Ethereum had been stolen from its hot wallets, but that users should not worry because the exchange would replace the funds in their entirety from their insurance fund. Take that as you will. At the time, the hacker's stash was worth just under 49 million. Thanks to recent price movements, that amount of Ethereum is now worth almost $52 million. Now, of course, deposits and withdrawals are still suspended on Upbit and will remain so that way for approximately 2 weeks, according to the statement directly from the exchange. So, obviously, here's the thing, man. What's kind of funny about a lot of people are going to have a different take on this. A lot of people approaching the space are kind of like very how do I put this? I would say that the overall mentality of individuals involved in cryptocurrency, and of course this kind of ranges, a lot of people don't look at this as like, oh, this is absolutely terrible. Like, that is theft. Screw that guy. A lot of people in this community, especially individuals involved in computer science or involved in, black hat, white hat type activity, which, obviously two different things, but you guys know what I'm, red team, blue team. There's this kind of concept, among individuals who hack or freak or break or crack that, if you can penetrate a system, like that's a good win. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that's how I feel about this. I think that a lot of people are watching this as kind of an interesting or exciting story. Obviously, it's spiced up a little bit because the dude's dropping leets all over the place, which would so now we have to ask, like, because the kind of narrative was this was an inside job, but you know, it seems like if this was an inside job, you know, sponsored by North Korea particularly, it doesn't really seem like they'd be leet speaking their way all over the internet, unless, again, we want to take another step into the inception matrix here and say that that is a clever ruse by a potential nation state attack from North Korea to make it seem like it's just your average everyday hacker, or not your average everyday hacker, obviously somebody who can penetrate Upbit security, which, you know, exchanges have been hacked, you know, all over the place lately. So especially Asian exchanges. And again, you know, I think that the common narrative is pointing to state-sponsored hacking / terrorism nearly from the North Korean nation state, or from associated terrorist organizations. So all I can say is that, you know, it seems that Upbit is going to be covering the funds. You know, it remains for, you know, to be seen here who has actually been hurt or not made whole. Obviously, I think it sucks that withdrawals are going to be suspended. So somebody's activities are actively hurting individuals who can't deposit or withdraw cryptocurrency if they need to access their funds or pay bills. Obviously, that's a tragedy. Upbit should make that better. But that's just where we are with the current state of technology, where, you know, to keep, you know, to fix things or make things whole. Binance has done this before, obviously, when Binance was hacked. You know, of course, the argument's going to be like, well, to make the most amount of people whole, we have to inconvenience a small amount of individuals or a large amount of individuals. So, but all I can say is that, you know, the hunt for the elite hacker remains fairly exciting and interesting right now. And I'm just interested to see how this plays out. Of course, we may never know. As you know, we don't know the true identities behind most of the infamous hacks and heists from the exchanges that have happened over the last 18 months. But heck, maybe we just talked about Anonymous launching that mystery fund, right, to fund Bitcoin development. Maybe it's them. Maybe, you know, maybe it's Anonymous who has been doing this overall hacking and has accumulated all these funds into one area, and they're going to use that fund to fund Bitcoin development. Because if you look, you'll actually see most of the hacks are not Bitcoin. It's been Ethereum and Ripple and Nano and all these other things, millions and millions of dollars worth of these coins. Not a whole lot of Bitcoin itself has been hacked, right? So maybe is that a sign? Is that a sign? Is there a coordinated hacking attempt on centralized exchanges to fund decentralized Bitcoin development? That's what I like. The D-Live chest. How could I forget? Of course, man. It's a holiday, so let's really spice it up, guys. Let's throw 500 tendies in that bad boy. How about that? I got to fix this OBS. Just a second. There we go. Give me one sec, gentlemen. I had to blow my nose there. This is getting a little aggravating. All right, guys, I did just hear my kids come in, so let's open up this chest, distribute some Thanksgiving Day rewards. Then we'll switch over to the main scene. We'll talk about we'll talk about what's going on tomorrow, and we'll do the outro, guys. Yeah, elite lemons, man. Let's distribute these elite lemons. 1,337 lemons, baby. Bring out the Made, because we got lemons. Oh, bring out the maid. I got you. You mean nade. Lemonade, right? Lefty on fire, getting 164 of them. Sweet, sweet lemon tendies. Solar MKD with 94.8. Ricky Thompson, 68.8. Mr. Ben Kirkland, 54.8. And Der Kryptomeister, 46 of them hot lemon tendies coming right at you, baby. Thank you guys so much for the continued support. You guys are absolutely amazing. It's a pleasure to be here on Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Let's switch over into the scene. All right, guys. Seriously. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Trade safely. If you guys want to watch the ByBit Brawl unfold, you guys can go check it out at bybitbrawl.crackingcryptocurrency.com. Too late to register, but of course you guys can participate. If you guys would like to participate by proxy, you guys can of course sign up if you haven't already at bybit.crackingcryptocurrency.com. You do get a special welcome bonus with that link as well if you are interested. If you guys have not already, we will be here, of course, tomorrow, but join the Discord because that is where it's going on. Discord.crackingcryptocurrency.com. We're going to be making some changes over there to make things a little bit more fluid and to provide more resources for the members, make things a little bit more exciting and fun for everybody. Obviously, website integration is going to be happening very, very soon with Discord as well. So make sure that you get ahead of the ball and go get on that Discord, guys. That's where we're at. If you guys want to support the show, make sure to subscribe, follow, share, and engage in the comment section down there. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, sarcastic remarks, or death threats, the comment section is where you can leave them. I'll do my best to get back to you within the next 48 hours. Other than that, tomorrow begins the Black Friday sale. The first 15 individuals to sign up for the group will get 50% off their package of choice. You guys can go figure out which one you guys want to sign up for at premium.crackingcryptocurrency.com if you don't already know. The rest, everybody else who signs up will get 30% off. That sale will run until the end of the show on Monday, right? So we'll begin tomorrow morning. It will run until, or it probably will start either tomorrow morning or at the show tomorrow, and will run until the end of the show on Monday. So give you guys ample opportunity. I know it's holiday weekend, so I'm trying to be understanding and patient and open with everybody. It is kind of it's kind of complicated to do everything the way that we have since the system's automated, but I'm trying to be understanding and patient of everybody's needs and timing and time zones and everything. So that's why we just decided to hold it open for the weekend. All right. Other than that, guys, this has been Breaking Bitcoin. I'm Justin Wise. Trade safely. For the love of God, don't get carried away. And if you haven't done so already, it's Thanksgiving, guys. Pick up your phone. If you haven't done this already, pick up your phone and call somebody that you haven't talked to in a while. Tell them that you miss them. Tell them that you love them. Tell them how great it is that they are in your life, and make plans to do something. All right? At least one person, and then do another person, and then do another person, and then do another person. Make your Thanksgiving day important, because at the end of the day, the moments that we can't pay for are what's going to matter when we take our final breaths, guys. Trade safely, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye.